Shalom, Akim. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and say touch to all the Akim, all four corners of earth who's pushing the truth and sincerity. Shalom, Akim. I want to get into this little video or incident that happened, on Saturday. Jake out here partying and stuff, amongst these Edomites, things happen a lot of times, whether Esau gets too much liquor in the system, especially certain areas in cities, Esau still got them good old boys around, and that spirit is still upon him. Ohio is a state where, you have different militia groups in there already. Well, you could damn near say all of America has these different Edomite militia groups. It's safe to say, it's not a state in this United States that doesn't have a group of Edomites that are already militias. It's been going on since the beginning, since it formed. Matter of fact, when you think about the history of America, and you look at when you see the states and the way they shape, we look at the sports now, but they used to actually have border wars, where these different states would go at it with each other. When they were forming the Union, when Esau was pushing west, and he would come through states like Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, these states like that, or any state period, there were things that happened before they could join the Union. You couldn't have any battles with the Indians going on. You had to have the whole land. They had a word for it. It's a term they had used for it. But your land had to be cleaned up of any opposition. Any one of the Native American groups coming up against Esau in the area was not allowed. They would not grant you access to the Union yet. You had to work it out somehow, so to speak. You also had to work out your border wars, whether it was with the cities, the states that were, they were on the border of yours. They wanted more area. They wanted more of this or that. So you had to work those things out. So Esau's always been at war with himself. So now, fast forward to now where we're at, and you have Jake, who's freed now, supposedly, and we want to hang out with Esau. We want to join in sports teams, run the ball, dribble the ball, basketball, baseball, whatever it may be, and these devils get racist. They get racist at these games, man. It's not about the sports anymore. The little alcohol gets in the system, and they ready to throw fists at you all over a sports game, man. So you got to watch those things, man. I always question those things about, especially when I was in the South. Like, why would you be happy to run the ball for a state that used to hang us? But, it's part of the curses, But Jake went out there trying to get down, partying and stuff, and got into a fight. And from my understanding, Esau was the one who started. And once again, Jake is the one who finishes it and gets caught on camera. And now he's a savage, he's a bully, he's everything, other than, and that's just the way it is when you do these things. And especially in the times we're in, when Esau has cameras and footages and he can record stuff and just make you look like a fool. But at the end of the day, Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So stop thinking this is our place of rest. Stop thinking that this is everybody's hunky-dory. Another thing they used to say to us back in the day, not even back in the day, a few years ago, we're not in slavery anymore. They love saying that. And Esau say that too sometimes. I've been in different restaurants, and when I used working in the bar industry, I would be chilling by myself after work or whatever. And, I had a Edomite say, man, he said it in a way trying to, break the ice, but motherfucker, don't say that shit, man. I don't want to hang with you, He says, we're not in slavery anymore. You can hang out with me, man, And, I could have took it that way, but, once again, it wouldn't have been wise if I took it that way. I was at work. I just got off work. It was at one of his establishments. What do you expect when you're in his crowd, when you're in his environment, man? Once again, it's not our rest. And you're hanging out here with these devils, man, thinking everything is cool. Then you want to go down. Then you want to, once the fight happens, now you want to try to use his law system, to get him off of you. It ain't gonna work that way. It's not gonna work that way, man. It's rare that you'll hear a case of Jake winning against the Esau, I don't give a damn what it is. It could be from the biggest thing to the largest thing, man. It's rare, you know. It happens, but it's rare, you know. And you know, in a situation like this, you know, I don't really know. I wasn't there. I've been just watching bits and pieces of the video, you know. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is not an arrest. And then on top of that, the flip side, you know, a lot of Jake seeing these videos, you know, that's keying them up, man, because that's the times we're in, man. You know, Jake is out here all on follies, man. You know, Esau's hanging you. Esau's killing you all over the place, man. You know, you got the cops. They steadily getting off with murders, you know, on you Negroes, you know. These politicians, they steadily passing different laws to push you Negroes farther and farther to the back of the bus. 2 Thessalonians 1:6, see, is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So the Lord, you know, is you know, he's with us, and he sees the, you know, these Edomites that troubling us, but at the same time, the Lord talks about how vengeance is his, man, and we have to wait on the Lord, man, you know, because you're going out here trying to do these things right now. It's not in a good favor right now, you know. This is Esau's queendom, and he's gonna run it to the ground until the Lord comes back, you know, and then puts the righteous judges back in order. And until then, we just got to play our role, you know. And I know those words are kind of harsh to two-thirds because they don't want to hear that, you know. They don't want to hear about revenge down the road. They want revenge when they want to do it. This is Romans 12:19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord, man. So the Lord says he's going to repay for us, man. You know, whatever, all we have to do is believe in it, man. And that's one thing, once again, that our people don't have is something called belief, man. They don't have faith, you know. They don't have patience, you know. And these are the things that the Lord requires of you, you know, because the Lord sees these things. He remembers us being hung from trees and being alligator bait and all those type of things, man. You know, the Northern Kingdom, they went through it too. A lot of Jake like to try to believe the Northern Kingdom are just going through it now. No, they went through it a little bit after our process, you know. If we came out of slavery in 1879, coming into the 1900s, you know, the Northern Kingdom was getting hung from the trees from Texas, Arizona, those states, you know, during the 50s and 60s, man. You know, they were getting hung as well, man. Esau was on a mass killing spree at that time, man. A lot of murderers. He tried to put up a number, but that ain't true, you know. So it's a lot of vengeance for the tribes, but the Lord said, you wait on him, man. Vengeance is his, man, you know. And that's the name of the game, to wait on the Lord, man, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, Jake, once again, they're going to be putting that system because they say they're charging 5 with a connection in a violent brawl. Once again, I seen some other commentators saying that they were provoked into this fight, you know, and I'll have to look at it in the video and watch it myself to get my own synopsis. But at the end of the day, just going off of the way that Esau and the vice president has been putting this in front of them, they're putting this fight in front of them like no other. Like they're really coming down hard on their on that Ohio justice system to try to put these people in jail, man. Put Jake in jail. But once again, Jake is going to try to fight those charges, and he's got to deal with Esau in the system, you know. So why would you want to deal with that, man? You know. Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. You know. So yeah, they're gonna go into this system. They're gonna try to ask for help from Esau and his politicians. But once again, I mean politics and stuff. But once again, what are you doing? You're throwing yourself into the lion's den, so to speak, because you know you're relying on Esau, the system, to get you out of something. You know, you're relying on Esau's system to get you out of beating up his own kind. Now that's a quagmire in itself, man. When you think about it, man. You know, everything's gonna be against you. You know. But yeah, this is not our rest, you know, and hanging out here with these groups of Edomites, you know, they get that beer in their system, they smell that wine, they ready to fight. You might have the wrong jersey on, different than what they have. They get all slappy, happy, you know, and there it goes, man. That's how it goes down for the most part, man, you know. But these stories will be coming up more and more. You'll be hearing more and more stories because the Lord is turning up the spirit out here, man, you know. That happiness time is over with, you know. The Lord is turning up the spirit of vengeance out here, you know, as well as he's rounding up, you know, Esau because he knows it's that time, man. You got to come down. With that being said, I hope this is edifying. Shalom, Akim.